continue. 我现在请格罗西先生发言，如果他在那儿的话。
I am Mr. President. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Grossi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much, Mr. President. An attack on the Baraka nuclear power plant in the United Arab Emirates has threatened the nuclear safety in the United Arab Emirates. A drone strike on the morning of Sunday, May 17, caused a fire in an electrical generator located outside the inner site perimeter of the plant. Radiation levels at the nuclear power plant remain normal and no injuries were reported. The use of emergency diesel generators to provide power to the nuclear power plant Unit 3 was necessary, but off-site power has since been restored, an important step for nuclear safety. Not long after the attack, I spoke on the phone with His Highness Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the UAE, assuring him of the IAEA's support. Over the past few days, I have also been in contact with leaders throughout the Gulf region, and I can see the unease and great concern. I have been discussing how the IAEA can offer assistance. Since last year, the IAEA has been gathering information as well as analyzing and evaluating emergency preparedness and response capacities. I will be traveling to the Gulf soon to continue this important joint work. The IAEA will continue providing guidance and training to competent authorities and first responders in areas including radiological impact, emergency protective measures for the public and workers, international emergency arrangements, emergency response plans, and provision of equipment and services to support emergency response. We stand ready, if necessary, to deploy the agency's nuclear safety and security experts to support nuclear safety efforts on the ground, in accordance with the IAEA's mandate. We have done this in other war theaters with good results. The IAEA's Incident and Emergency Center in Vienna is operating 24/7, following the situation closely and is in constant contact with the UAE's authorities. The situation, Mr. President, is of grave concern. This is a nuclear site in the Middle East where the consequences of an attack could be most serious. It is an operating nuclear power plant, and as such, it hosts thousands of kilograms of nuclear material in the core of the reactors, fresh and spent fuel. I want to make it absolutely and completely clear. In case of an attack on the Baraka nuclear power plant, a direct hit could result in a very high release of radioactivity to the environment. A hit that disabled the lines supplying electrical power to the plant could increase the likelihood of its reactors' cores melting, which could result in a high release of radioactivity. In their worst cases, both scenarios would necessitate protective actions, such as evacuations and sheltering of the population, or the need to take stable iodine with a reach extending to distances from a few to several hundred kilometers. Radiation monitoring would need to cover distances of several hundred kilometers, and food restrictions may need to be implemented. As I stated several times, including to this Council, attacks on nuclear facilities devoted to peaceful purposes are unacceptable. This is consistent with the IAEA General Conference's resolutions. Attacks are even more dangerous when they are against operating nuclear power plants, like Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, Bushehr nuclear power plant, Baraka nuclear power plant, or any other nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plants are protected under international humanitarian law. I reiterate my calls for parties in all conflicts to respect the 7 indispensable pillars for ensuring nuclear safety and security, which I articulated both at the IAEA's Board of Governors and this Council. I, again, as I did in June 2025, when I last briefed this chamber, call on maximum restraint. Military activity on NPPs and other nuclear facilities carry undeniable risks. I would like to commend the authorities of the UAE for providing the IAEA with timely and regular technical information about affected nuclear facilities and their respective sites. Immediate engagement with the IAEA's Incident and Emergency Center is of the essence. Our teams are working around the clock. They are following the developments on the ground, and they are ready to deploy. I will continue to provide public updates about the impact of this conflict on nuclear sites and the possible health and environmental consequences, while remaining in permanent consultations with the governments in the region. Mr. President, Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, it is clear that the only sustainable path forward to peace, stability, and cooperation is one grounded in dialogue and diplomacy. The National Atomic Energy Agency, as the international technical institution entrusted with overseeing the peaceful use of nuclear energy, remains a vital forum for this dialogue, especially now. There is a legitimate expectation of an overall diplomatic agreement adequately and robustly verified by the IAEA. Agreements without verification of the exclusively peaceful use of the nuclear material and facilities do not help. Engagement without prompt international evaluation and support can rapidly turn into regional crisis. In closing, Mr. President, I would like to ensure the Security Council that the IAEA will continue to do everything within its mandate to ensure the safety and security of nuclear facilities, especially those most at risk due to conflict, wherever it may take place. Thank you very much.
我感谢格罗西先生所做的通报。